Hello and welcome to the episode 17 of the BB&J Show. I am BB. No, I'm not. I'm Jay. That handsome lad on the other side of this panel is BB. And this wonderful, wonderful person in the middle is Yuhoui. We are doing a very special episode, I've been pointing the wrong way this whole time, of the BB&J Show. It is going to be chaotic. It is going to be a mess. It is going to be filled with wonderment. Hello, BB, and hello, Yuhoui.
Hi, I'm also BB.
Yes.
And I'm BB.
Yeah.
This is the Council of BB.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The BBB show. Although I feel like that's probably means something else on the internet. How is everybody doing today?
Good. Good.
Yes.
Excited to be here. I have definitely watched the show and prepared for this moment.
Congratulations, you've all been lied to while being looked in the eye.
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. We did an
How are
episode
you,
last.
Jay?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. We did an episode last week, didn't we? I don't know. It's been
Maybe.
I've been on a bender this past for a while, so I don't remember if we did an episode last week. But welcome in. We're glad you're here with us. If you haven't done so already, if we haven't scared you off yet, consider liking the channel, liking this video, subscribing, and if you feel so inclined, ding our dong to be notified when we release new content and episodes and the like. So, we have a lot of stuff to get into. A pirate game, which of course Yuhoui loves. Some Red Dead news that's rather unfortunate. A little bit of more cat sex simulator or whatever Stray is supposed to be. And so a bit of fun there at the end. So I think we should probably get into it before I say more things that get me canceled, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
You have a way with words. You know, one wouldn't think that you're an author, but here we are.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we could start with everyone's
Pirates. Arr.
favorite pirate or genre. Is it a genre? Is it
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Right?
I would say pirates should be their own genre.
Right?
You know, like they transcend genres. Pirates.
They are a genre.
Anyways.
Have you considered voice
God.
acting?
I've been told I have a face for radio.
Nice. Good. And a head for therapy.
Oh god.
And a voice for silent movies.
That's
Wait.
beautiful. That's
Yes.
that's the Holy Trinity. You know how people cross stitch like Bible verses and other things?
Yeah.
Not all represent anything. That should be what you do. You know,
Yeah,
a face for radio, a head for therapy, and a voice for silent movies.
there you go. That's our first BB&J show merch.
There we go.
Let's put that on a
Oh
shirt.
my god.
But yes, what do we have in the on the high seas coming up?
Skull and Bones finally got pretty much like everything. The release date, the trailer as well. You guys want to like dive into the trailer thing? Like, what are your first thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, we'll let the guest go first.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I mean, I'm not big for pirate games. I really gave it half a shot. I will with Sea of Thieves. I will admit, I did half a shot. So this game isn't really for me, but I can appreciate it. It seems really cool. It seems like a game that really wants to compete with that, and trying to give it more. It seems really intriguing with all the things the features that it can offer, and a big selling point for me is the graphics because I'm all for how things look more than how
Yes.
things play.
Wow.
No, yeah, it does look really really nice though. Not gonna lie, that game. I mean, the trailer. How long has it been since it got like pushed back? Wasn't it pushed back like a couple times, right?
I feel like we opened one of our first shows with pushing back of Skull and Bones. So,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah,
When was
I know
it
it's
announced?
been. It kind. Oh, this was announced like years ago,
Yeah.
and it was like on hiatus at one point. So essentially, what they did was like it was supposed to be a pretty much just the in the seas kind of game, right? Where you would just be on your ship. That's it. And then I guess as they had like beta testers and everything, they introduced the mechanic where you can get off your ship.
mm,
And as Sea of Thieves got more popular, because this was like around the time that Sea of Thieves was like barely coming out. As Sea of Thieves got more popular, they introduced like that type of mechanics. Now in the trailer, they didn't show any kind of combat, like on foot combat or anything, but they did show like exploration where you could go like treasure hunting, go sell or buy new items. But that was honestly about it. I didn't really see anything else like on the ground or on the islands. I just saw just a bunch of like naval combat. So it reminded me a lot like I don't know if you ever played Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah.
that's what it looked like, and I honestly like that game a lot. I think it introduced a lot of the cool like ship combat mechanics.
And I think that's what is off for me because Assassin's Creed Black Flag was the game that made me quit the series of Assassin's Creed.
Dang.
I know there's so many people who really really love that game that it not opted it became like a whole new genre thing. Not for me. Like the ship combat was the worst part of the game and I hated it. And I haven't even finished it because I got stuck in a ship combat thing.
So Black Flag was the only Assassin's Creed I ever played. It's the only one I tried. Because I love ships and all of that. I don't know that this will knock off Sea of Thieves, but Sea of Thieves, I enjoy Sea of Thieves, but I think it has a lot of, there's some issues that it needs to work on. So what I'm hoping this game does is actually serve as sort of fair competition that incentivizes Rare to do the things a lot of the fans want. Like private servers that actually mean something. They're doing the thing now where you can save your ship loadouts and supposedly you can name your ships and you could also selling is supposed to be easier, which is a lot of quality of life things that people complained about. So I'm hoping that Skull and Bones could sort of light a fire under Sea of Thieves because I feel like competition breeds people to try things and be innovative and that sort of thing, and that only spells good things for customers and consumers. Graphics, I mean, I don't know. I played Sea of Thieves, and Sea of Thieves doesn't have the best graphics at all. Although the water, I will fight you on the water. The water is
The thing is,
amazing.
it's not that they don't have good graphics. It's just a whole different graphic style.
Yeah. The art styles are very, very different. I actually like how it looks.
I mean, honestly, I'm not necessarily that excited for Skull and Bones just because I'm the type of person that when I try something first and get used to it, I tend to prefer that style. It's why I liked certain UIs. Like I like the Xbox 360's UI over the PS3 just because I tried it first, but the PS3's UI was actually better. But I just preferred it just because I tried it first.
I mean, there is a transition period, though, where you get used to it.
Yeah.
It's like with anything.
Yeah.
But did you also see the memes kind of starting? Because you remember when Elden Ring came out and they were talking about how the UI looks and how it's so clean. It gives you like absolute like the minimum and just exactly what you need. And now people were saying, because they turned around, I think it was on Reddit, where they then put the Ubisoft overlay thing or whatever, or maybe they were mocking Horizon or something. I don't remember what it was, but where they put like all the overlays and notifications and whatnot on it. And then some people have put the comparison that this is what the Skull and Bones overlay looks like.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Too much clutter in a UI is I hate it. It's one of those things that drives me nuts. So I'm not. Like I'll look at it. It's not something I'm really gonna be interested to buy first. I'm more honestly interested, even though it's a completely different game. But I think it's coming out around the same time, late 2022, in the Harry Potter game. Like that. That's where my attention is right now, as opposed to, Skull and Bones. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, I mean it's a Ubisoft game too. I don't really like their style of games. I don't really like their style.
Yeah, the Ubisoft formula is very
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very unique.
Yeah, so
I will say I'll go a little deeper on the mechanics. Looking at it's gonna be definitely more complex because there's like a bunch of like different like weapons, I guess strategies that you can do. But the other thing too is like you were talking about servers on Sea of Thieves, and I saw like this one it's like it looks like it's just a PvP type game. Like I didn't
even
really,
worse.
yeah, like I didn't really see like there's like a story or anything behind it. It's just kind of like be your pirate legend, but like playing against other people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you
I
know,
guess if other players or because I remember one part of it. It says like if you die, then of course like your stuff becomes loot that just
yeah.
floats in the ship. You can get it later, or other people
Hmm.
can come and get it. So it's
Yeah.
pretty much just
Essentially look almost like, I mean, it's not that genre, right? Like battle royale, but it kind of like seemed like it, where like you're out in the seas and anybody can attack you, so you have to be careful where you go or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe they could build on it, because Sea of Thieves at first was very similar to that. And
Hmm.
now you see, like, they have Tall Tales, and they had the whole Pirates of the Caribbean expansion. They had all these other things that went it. So we'll see. It's early yet, but nah, I'm not really excited. I just want to say, for the record, I don't want anybody to be misled. Yuhoui did not give Sea of Thieves an actual shot. She
I
loaded.
did.
She
I
loaded
played
in.
it for like
She
maybe
loaded
2
in
hours.
twice. She loaded in
Yeah.
twice. Then ran in a circle by herself, not understanding anything, and then I think did a mission with one person, and that was it. That's not the actual Sea of Thieves experience. So I just want the record to be clear.
You can't sell me on a game by that, then you haven't sold. Like, then it's not a good game. It
I
doesn't
understand.
need to
Yeah.
be have like a full on. You have to experience all of these check marks. You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
have played like 5 hours of it. No, it's like
Yeah.
when you watch a TV series, if it doesn't catch you by the first episode or maybe even the first 1.5, then
That's it. Yep.
it's not for you. For
So
you.
You're
what
right.
what I'm hearing is that you guys have low attention spans. Got it.
Yes,
Got it. Yeah.
again, we are young people.
No,
Unlike
you're
you.
not. No, you're not. Don't lie to the people.
Sir. Yes, I can.
But yeah, that pretty much wraps up Skull and Bones. I mean, are y'all? Well, we got the gist of it. Not no one's really like super excited for the game.
But
It's not a game
Um,
for me.
Yeah, same. I mean, I do enjoy Sea of Thieves, but not like certain people like Jay.
I mean, honestly, the most fun thing for me in Sea of Thieves is just sailing the ship. Like, I just love sailing the ship,
I see
and the
that,
ship, sailing the ship, and being like at the helm during combat. I don't even care to
Mm.
shoot the cannons or get in, jump board ships. I just like steering the ship, and
You like being the captain,
pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mr.
Sitting back and
Starboard.
watching the
Yeah.
chaos.
yeah. And then using naval language and having
Yeah,
everybody be
Starboard.
confused.
What is
Yeah,
it? Something starboard or something
yeah.
like that.
Hard to starboard, trim the port bow, trim the sails. That sort of thing.
Off the
Yeah,
plank.
everyone knows what that means.
Hey, if you don't know what that means, then you're a landlubber.
Actually, I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm very comfortable on that.
I prefer that.
But what would you kind of want though, or not necessarily expect, but like probably in an expansion or an update or something? What would you want out of the game if you ever were to give it a true shot, or if they, implemented this, then you would give it a shot?
Skull and Bones?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, a story. I want a good story. That's the one thing that's really missing for me in Sea of Thieves is a good story. Like, I like RPG. I would love like a Mass Effect Dragon Age style game, but set in a pirate world. Like, that would be cool.
Right. So he's asking for everything.
Pretty much.
pretty much.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm not a cheap date. What can I say?
Though.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, a story would be good, but I think for this type of game, since it's a like multiplayer type, right? I don't know. I mean, I would say similar things to like Sea of Thieves. It's like where you have like more, I guess, maybe cooperative elements, right? Because it's like I'm not saying I don't like PvP, but I'd rather just play with like my friends and against like
No.
a story driven or maybe like a event or something. So I didn't really see that in here. It looked just like it's a PvP, right? So I think that would be cool if they added something like that. But I mean, it's just that type of game. So I don't know if I'll be like. I mean, I'm not really super interested, but I like that it's a pirate game. We don't really have that many, so
Yeah.
that's why I was kind of like looking into it.
I'm just tired of games constantly coming out where it's always like, competitive, big, PvP kind of things. Because it's just like, okay. Because that's where you get your microtransactions. That's where you get your, and that's why companies go for it. obvious. It's a revenue generator. I'm bored. I'm bored of it already. I'm over it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's how you
Speaking
really
of
feel.
things that are over,
Oh damn!
Yeah. Are we
That
talking
was a
about
good one.
your social life now?
oh,
Damn.
sir! Wow, shots
Excuse me.
fired. Okay,
Damn, I
okay, the
felt
floor is
that.
open.
Yeah.
Or something. No, yeah. What is that, Yuhoui?
I mean, what is that may never die? I mean, we are the game that kind of united us all. The kind of game that I first started playing with you all. Unfortunately, isn't really getting any more or getting any major updates. It's going to get a little bit here and there, but Red Dead Online
There you go.
seems to not be the future we wanted.
No, no.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to hear that because, like you said, it's something that we all played for hours of talk about, like days, weeks, months, probably. Like it was insane, you know.
It's the game that kept the Discord alive for literally more than 24 hours.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah.
had the whole shift system in there. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, unfortunately, and the thing that I think at the time when we started the show, we started talking about wishing that Red Dead would get some more content updates and hoping, because I think the last thing they did was the bootlegging, which had a little bit of a story to it actually. The story behind it wasn't bad. But yeah, no. So Rockstar has said that they are not releasing any more major content, just that they're going to release what's called Telegram missions, which is basically fetch quests that you can do in the game that have no real impact for minimal money and gold. But they're shifting the focus onto Grand Theft Auto 6. Now the thing is, Red Dead wasn't getting much love beforehand. So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
if what they were getting, they're like, we're scaling back what they were doing. I am like, that game is, oof, it's sad.
Yeah, it's practically
You
like
got stale bread and water, and now you get crumbs.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
that's just, oof.
Yeah, it kind of sucks
that's
because I really did enjoy playing Red Dead. Like, especially like it's just like it's a different type of game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it plays, it can be very immersive. Like
Yeah.
you can really get into like that lifestyle that they have in the game.
And
So
there's
it's
so
really
much. There's
sad.
a huge community with there. There's so many people. I've seen so many TikToks
Yeah.
with people like full on role playing and
Yep.
living lives in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a shame that, yeah, it's like they're full on neglecting that huge community.
Yeah.
The funny thing, so the funny thing is, so the haha funny. I when I first started, the way the Red Dead thing started in the Discord was that I was gonna play with Gresham and Silent Archangel and myself. It was just gonna be the four of us. I didn't think anybody else had it. I didn't think anybody else even had the game or wanted to play. So I created a channel. It was just going to be the four of us were the only ones going to be able to share our screens and talk and everything. And literally so many people came in and be like, oh, I love this game. I just have nobody to play with. I just
Yeah.
didn't have people to play with. I didn't have people to play with. And so it became a thing where basically the role that I created for Gresham, myself, Silent Archangel, I think BB, I think you were the fourth one, basically became pointless because so many people had the role and just were playing with us. And that's when we met Yuhoui. And, so all of that stuff, it holds a special place in all of our hearts. And it's overall a quality game that just doesn't, it's one of the only real sort of MMO like games that I would love to have more content, because I would love to sink more time into it.
Honestly, like if that game had housing, or like
Oh,
where you could
gosh.
actually have like a full on career, or you could have different
Yeah.
classes that would affect like the group and the team, and like just a general better like posse system. Oh, I just know I would have lost my life in that game.
Same. Even give it what GTA 5 has, where you can buy a house, where you can buy, like different types of things, and like, you can, the types of jobs and quests that are in GTA 5 you can have in, like, they would just, I would have settled for minor things where you could just even rent a room if you wanted to. I would have paid IRL money, like real life money, to have a space where it's like, you could build a permanent structure in a camp, like build a permanent camp and all of those sorts of things. Like, I would have paid IRL money for that, because it was just that good. So it's a real shame.
It is. So it sucks. But maybe, hopefully, the game industry will take note in that it's a popular game, it's a popular genre, it's something that people want. So maybe someone will fill in the void.
I hope so. Yeah, I really do hope so because you're right. Yeah, like if they would have added so many other features to it, it would have probably been one of the games I'd be playing right now.
Yeah, this show probably wouldn't have taken off because we'd have spent so much time just playing
Yeah.
Red Dead Online. Because oh my
Yeah.
god, it was, and it's just so many. There's such a hunger for it. It's one of those things that really shocks me because I would think companies would see, oh, there's a base, let's go for it. But I guess they can't monetize it the way they can GTA Online somehow. I don't understand the
Could be
disconnect.
so many different reasons. It could be like a full on just company reason that they don't see the strategic point of like maybe they don't have the people to do both,
True.
to like focus on and keep it alive because it is a lot of work and money and investment and strategy to keep a game like that. I don't remember the right term for it, but like a game that's supposed to like live for a long time.
Yeah.
It could be that they didn't really see the point and they would then have to hire a lot of people and it would be like a whole lead time or tail or whatever the professional wording is for it, that it would take so much for them to hire and educate all these people to do it that they were like, nah, it's not really going to take off for that long, it's not really worth it. We have other games where it's more worth it to spend our money.
True. I mean, they also did announce, or I heard, I don't know if it's a full announcement yet, that there was supposedly a Red Dead 1 remake coming, which is a lot of things, also a lot of a request, or highly requested, there we go, words.
I don't get it. I must admit, like that game, I understand when they do remakes from games that are in the previous century. Or like even a couple of centuries old. Red Dead 1 is not that old.
It's not, but it's also not on PC. I mean,
that sucks for you.
I mean, no, I have a console. It sucks for people that don't have a PC, but it's not. It's not on PC.
Yeah.
It's not at all, and that's what people want, a sort of port, even if it's not a remake, a port. But apparently the code. One thing I hear is that the code is not that great. But I also heard that because of the reception that the definitive edition got, they have canceled any plans for a potential Red Dead 1 port over.
I don't get that. It's like saying like, oh, this orange juice isn't doing really well, so we're not going to make it, apple juice or tomato juice or like freaking pasta. Like it's two different games. They're two different audiences. What do one have to do with the other? I do not care about GTA.
No.
I like Reddit.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't understand. Also, I think that it's one of these things where if it is the definitive edition issue and not the code issue, if it is the definitive edition issue, that's their own fault for hiring a small mobile game studio to port over three massive open world games and, update them and all of that stuff. So, like, that's their own fault for contracting that. Like, I don't understand how they could sit there and be like, well, I stabbed myself, I'm bleeding, so it's my, because the carpet got blood on it, I'm not going to go and do this other thing.
But the thing is, though, with these kind of things is, especially when it comes to like big corporations, the official excuse or reason can very much well not be the actual reason. It could be like some very like corporate nitty-gritty. It could even be some personal squabbles that makes things not happen. But you can't go out and publicly say that. So be like, oh yeah, no, the code is weird.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But that's absolutely off base. I have no reason to suspect that, but it's just like a little note.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is we blame Yuhoui. Got it. Cool.
It makes sense now. You're right.
Yeah.
No. Take it back.
I take nothing back.
I'm sorry. I was out of line.
I was directly in line. BB, have you ever played Red Dead 1, BB?
Yeah, I like the Red Dead series. I really enjoyed the first one, which it's crazy to me. Like Red Dead 2 is like super personal, like to me, right? Because I like put so many hours into it, and then on top of like the online, side of it, like meeting all these new friends. But Red Dead 1 was really good, and I would hope that they like do like port to PC or whatever, because I don't have a console right now, but um I mean, I would like them for them to like port it to PC. It would be cool,
Yeah.
to like relive or like replay all of that again. I honestly liked it because they had like they barely had any like online to it, right? I
Yeah.
think they had like just like free roam, right? There was not like technically a story, but they added something later in the year, well, whenever it came out, like DLC, that was something that a lot of people wish they got in Red Dead 2,
Mm.
and it was the zombie expansion. I don't know if you ever
Yeah.
remember playing that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous, but it was so much fun actually. Like, zombies in the western times, like it was
It's not a
cool.
thing
It's
you
like
see often. No.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And I just remember playing, like, you would free roam. If you played online, you could free roam, the country, and just zombies everywhere. It was just cool. It was a cool idea.
Yeah.
There was a point where you could even level up to a point where you would get like a zombie horse skin or whatever.
Mm.
It was just so cool. It was really, really cool. So I wish they added that type of content. Like, even if they added that to Red Dead 2, right? Like
Yeah.
something like that. They don't have to go off with like a major story, which I would prefer, but if they added something small like that, like just zombie event or something, I don't know. But
Yeah. As
I
we
guess we won't really be getting something like that.
no, and we
I
clearly
mean, that's
see.
the thing. Sorry.
No, go on.
No, I mean, I think just backtracking a little bit with with Skull and Bones, with getting the Ubisoft treatment. That's the thing I think will be interesting with how they're treating Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because that's getting seasonal updates. It's getting of course they have microtransactions as Ubisoft, but then they have all of these things coming in constantly. There are cool skins that obviously don't really story wise or canonically make sense,
No.
but it's cool. So
Mhm.
imagine if you have like pirates like that, where you actually get a little bit of seasonal updates and cool ships and outfits.
Yeah, like
I mean, yeah, that works.
skins
Yeah.
for ships that don't make too much sense canonical within the story, but
Yes.
that are kind of cool. Like
Like a ghost ship,
Yeah.
or like a Davy Jones
Ooh.
ship, or
Star Trek Enterprise.
unicorn. Imagine if they were in contact with. Isn't it Disney? Disney owns Star
No, that's Star Wars.
Trek. Who owns Star Trek?
Wow.
Paramount, I believe.
Yeah, it's Paramount.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
But anyways, it would be cool.
I don't know. I've never seen Star Trek Troopers, so
it's just
They're the secret ones who actually have a good aim.
so. This
So
is probably the
anyway.
last episode we'll do after BB gets us canceled. But yeah, no, I never played Undead Nightmare, though I do have. Although
Oh,
I can't,
man, it's
I
so
can't,
good.
I can't play it anymore because the Series S doesn't have a disc drive. I do have Red Dead
yeah.
1 on disc with the Undead Nightmare, so I have to get Red Dead 1 on the Xbox Store to play it on my Series 1S. But I would, because it's fun. I enjoy it. I liked it. I didn't get to finish the story, but Red Dead 2, like you say, BB, is really personal to me. I played it at a time when I didn't really have many friends, and I poured so many hours into it, and I had to actually stop for a while because I got too
Yes.
emotionally invested, and
I'm right there with you. Dude. I remember
was-
like freaking holding off on the ending, like towards the
Mhm.
ending. I literally stopped playing for like maybe a month because I was like, I don't
Yeah.
want this to end. Yeah.
I found myself being too emotionally connected to the majority of the characters, and I was seeing, the story was going in a certain way, and I just had to stop because I was getting too like it was just making me sad to play, and I had to stop. And I went back and I finished it, and then I streamed it, and I loved streaming it, and then of course the Discord, meeting all of the people that I met, including Yuhoui, for all the trouble she brings me, is overall been a net
You're
positive. Anywho, but yeah, so it's sad to see that it's pretty much the end of the game, because they're not going to release story content, because story content, first of all, the story, if you don't know, the Red Dead 1 is technically the sequel to Red Dead 2, so Red Dead 2 is the prequel.
Yeah.
So the story flows into, unless they do maybe an expansion with certain characters or whatever, but it takes so much, the way they shot Red Dead 2, the way they did the story. Like, if you've seen some of the behind-the-scene things, the acting and all of that. Yeah, I mean, they've been working on Red Dead 2 apparently for, I don't know, 8 years or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 9 years.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, the way they...
That's why you can get so immersed in that damn game. Like, honestly, because it's just like
It shows.
certain things in the mechanics of the games where it's like, like if you're talking to someone and you get too far away, they'll even remind you, hey, we'll pick up this story later. That's so, like, it's such a small, like, subtle detail, but then later on they're like, so you remember that thing we were talking about? It's like, it's just so cool how like how they can like do that. And I wish that was in like more games, honestly, especially like open world games.
I think they've started doing that. I can't remember what game, but I feel like maybe it was Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I was about to bring up Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you're in a cutscene with Cyberpunk and if you take too long to respond, the NPC will chastise you, like, hey, come on, let's go, we're talking here, or I don't got all day, or like, it makes you feel like you're really there. And I love that both in Red Dead it's an optional, but in Cyberpunk it's first person, so it just draws you in even more. And so
I think that's the beauty about that game. It's like, like in that type of like era, it was very like, open. You would think that there's like not much to do, right? In that like type of setting, but there's so much to do, which is crazy. And that's why I always look at some of the like newer like open world games where I'm like, the game feels like kind of dead, right? Or bland, and it's like, how can like something where it's not a lot of stuff supposed to be happening, right, can feel full, and then you have this other game that's like a little bit newer or whatever, just feels so bland, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a little picky with like open world games, because I haven't really found one that's like super like immersive.
Same. I like open area, kind of like Mass Effect Andromeda, Dragon Age, Inquisition, versus open world where it's just like, there's a sandbox, go play. Like, that's why that's my biggest problem with Skyrim, is it's very flat creatively, in the sense of like every quest holds the same weight, and it's like, which is fine if that's what you're into, but you can't leave me to my own devices. I will get into trouble.
But yeah, we're sad to see Red Dead Online finally come to an end, at least for content wise, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to attempt to do one of those things here where it's like, of things that are ending, new things
Are being born.
I don't know how to say it.
In order for new.
Wow.
I'm trying to transition. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hey, we support you,
I'm happy
BB.
for you.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
We support you no matter what.
But you're straying too far away.
Oh fuck! You see? Oh my god!
All right, we got a professional in our midst here.
I'm just gonna hit up Yuhoui every time I need to do like a segment and be like, "Hey, how do I do this?"
You know what? Actually, you should just go straight to the source, because that horrible pun there is straight from, the man himself.
And make no mistake, I am the man. But yeah. we are talking about Cat Sex Simulator 2022.
It's not that. What? Okay, excuse me. Sorry, sir. What made you start thinking that's what the Stray? Okay, first of all, we're talking about the game Stray.
Yes.
That like really awesome, beautiful looking game. Like,
show your work.
Okay, first of all I know about it is like it's a cat simulator. You play as a cat, and all I've ever seen or heard cats do is have loud sex outside my window at like 5 a.m. So I figured that's all cats do. They walk around and eat and have loud screaming cat sex at 5 a.m. So that's pretty much what the game.
You've never owned a cat.
No,
is what I'm hearing.
No,
obviously.
No, never owned a cat. No.
Me neither. But I've not been traumatized like you have.
Hey, stray cats they're loud, okay? So funny story. When in my old apartment, I used to have a backyard, and there was a bunch of cats that were strays in the neighborhood or whatever. And whenever Thanksgiving or whenever we had excess food that we just weren't going to eat, I would actually go out there with a tray and put it down, and I'd feed the whole bunch of cats. And eventually, one of the cats gave birth to a bunch of kittens and shit. And so I was feeding them for a while. So, see, gave birth. They had sex. Ergo, cats, all they do is just bang. So, yeah, that's what I'm expecting from Stray. But I've seen one like half a trailer. Yuhoui here, I think, is more excited for the game than BB&I is.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, and probably knows a bit more about the game than I do, apparently. So,
Okay,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah.
let's first read a little bit about what it's supposed to be about.
hmm
So it's about a cat lost and alone and separated from family. A stray cat must untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten cyber city and find their way home.
Wow. Definitely not where you were going, Jay.
No, you have been doing some serious false
I don't
advertisement
know
there.
what. I don't
Sir.
know where you read the.
I'm willing to bet that somehow cat sex comes
No.
into this. I'm willing to bet.
No. You know what? Let
Oh
me
my God.
let me find the Peggy for this because
I'm sorry. The
Yeah.
what? Who's getting pegged?
Peggy
What?
the good lord, you need to learn some gaming terms.
Peggy 18.
Yeah,
That's the.
Peggy rating.
We don't do that in America. We have the ESRB.
Right, it's age rating of 12 years in Korea at least. That's what it's saying.
Yeah, it's a nice little. Like,
So it's
you
a
know,
wholesome game. There will
exactly.
not be any.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not actually a cat simulator. Okay, so it's.
No, so that's the thing. That it's not a cat simulator. It's an RPG, but where you
Yeah.
actually play as a cat. So it's like I've seen some trailers, true, because I'm excited for it. It's more of like a, I don't think it's going to be open world. I think it's more of those like stages where you have to, go through the levels and solve puzzles to be able to progress.
Yeah.
And then of
Gotcha.
course there are going to be like some sort of enemies. I won't say monsters, but there's some sort of enemies, of course. So you either, I don't know if you can fight them, but at least you have to try and avoid them and go past them. And then it's a cyber city, and we've seen a lot of robots. So, it's cats interacting with robots, and I don't know, maybe that's a store where they have to buy fish for potions. I don't know.
Interesting. It kind of sounds like was it or when I'm thinking of the game, the closest in my brain that it reminds me of, or that I can think of that I associate with, is that what was it Bridge of Spirits? That game you played for like 30
Anna?
seconds, where you guide little jelly beans with hats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jelly beans.
yeah. I don't know what they
They're
were
very
called.
cute. Yeah, there was some spirits or something like that. Yeah, I didn't play too much of it. I was in a weird gaming phase. I didn't really know what I want in life.
Yeah. You still don't.
Like going back to that trailer, well, actually all the trailers, even the gameplay trailer for Stray. I was talking to Jay about this the other time, and it's like it doesn't really give too much away, which I like when trailers kind of do that, where it makes you like think like, oh, what's the story about? What's gonna happen, right? But and a lot of people would think like, oh, I need to know more of it, but I actually liked the trailer how it was like that because it got me more interested in it. Where I'm like, I see all the things that are happening in the game, but I don't necessarily like have to see everything, right? So I like that they like revolved around this like mystery of the game, and it just
Talking
looks
about
so...
the couple of first trailers.
yeah, the first like trailers that they were showing. And I mean, you were describing it where it's like kind of like you have to go through this journey, right, and solve like puzzles and all that. I'm actually been excited for something like that for a while. Like, there's not many games like that are like that, right? Everything feels like very like, shoot 'em up kind of thing nowadays.
It depends
So
on
I'd like
who
to see that.
There are a lot of indie games like that, which is why I'm really rooting for more eating games.
Yeah.
And that's also why I'm trying to fill up my TikTok feed with a lot of that as well, because there's so many great indie games that are coming out. There are puzzles, there are story, like it's kind of open world, but it also with like a good quest. Honestly, like the best story games out there in my mind currently are indie games. Because they're really out there trying to push the limits of what games can be, and not just for the visuals. Because that they know they're where they can compete. Not necessarily the graphics, but the other aspects.
Yeah, and I just want to say that the mystery of the trailer is why I was thinking of cat sex stuff, because I had to fill
so it
in
can work
my
both ways.
I had to fill in my own sort of synopsis of what was going on.
And now we know where Jay lives in the gutter.
That's where I met you. But
Climbing out of it.
climbing out. Yeah, right. You pay rent here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I like this indie games. I've found in the last 2 years, I found myself more like I couldn't. I think BB, we did an episode where we were trying to think of like the most games we're most excited for this year, and I drew such a blank because I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know, because it's like mostly just indie games that I discover either through a stream or like Road 96 that you were playing yesterday. I
Oh
don't
my gosh, that game is
Road.
so
I was
good.
gonna actually recommend that to you, Yuhoui, to stream because Road 96 I think you would like. It's really
Okay.
cool. It's basically so you play through a series of stories, through a series of characters, and you sort of there's an overarching story to it, told from multiple different perspectives, and there's
Mhm.
multiple different endings and different ways things can go, and stuff like
Love
that.
that.
Yeah. So, and what's that game that's coming out? I think soon, BB, that we're both excited
I think
for.
it's called. Give me a second. I think it's called a
S-
Dusk Falls.
a
Oh,
Dust
as Dusk
Falls.
Falls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
similar art style. I don't know that they're necessarily indie games, but the similar art style. Story being told through multiple perspectives that you can take choices of, like things like that that are not like these big AAA games that people are franchises that are people are really excited for. That's where I tend to lean into, and I discover
Mhm.
these not months and years in advance, but sort of just by accident. I stumble upon them, or I think the As Dust Falls was the one good trailer that we saw in one of those. Uh,
It's in the. I think it's in the Xbox.
Yeah, because
yeah,
it looks like an Xbox exclusive,
yeah,
or like obviously like
Um,
Xbox
I
PC.
think
But
so.
yeah,
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
PC.
So yeah, it's just indie games. I mean, it's fun. Now you run the risk with a lot of indie games with the early access. Sometimes they use that as a way to kind of milk Star Citizen, Star Citizen, excuse me, uh, milk money and reproduce absolute hot garbage. Um, but overall, I do like indie games, and I tend to lean towards them as well. And that's an influence of the last 2 years. I feel like.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
I'm
So
excited
it's
for
gonna
it.
be, yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be interesting, and I think the interesting part about Stray is that I feel, apart from Jay's weird misconception about the game, I think there are a lot of people who you know grew a lot of expectations about what a cat game is. There are so many cat lovers
Mhm.
out there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really classify myself as one of them. I'm much more of a dog person, but I, respect and like cats
mm,
uh, at a
Yeah,
distance.
I'm excited. Yeah, I have a cat and dog, so I'm
Yeah.
definitely excited to try it out. Because you're
But what
right,
I
I
think
haven't
though,
really seen something like that,
yeah,
honestly.
but what I
It's
think
cool.
though is that I feel like some people are going to be disappointed when the game comes out.
mm.
Because it's
Mm.
not going to be as much of a cat simulator as they might wish it to be.
That's
Mhm.
what I thought it was gonna be. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
but that's kind of the thing, though. It's gonna be for now, at least, because I think it'll be the start of non-traditional like player avatars in a sense, because
Mm.
it's the first game that I could think of off the top of my head that where you play as a cat, from a cat's perspective, and not like a humanized cat. It's a cat from what I understand. It's not like you know a cat standing on two legs being basically a human. It's you're running around
Yeah,
as a cat.
because I mean, like there are a lot of like
Okay.
animals. Like I played a short hike where you play as a bird, but it's like
Yeah,
a humified version of a bird.
Yeah.
Like all
exactly.
the birds talk, like
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
animals talk.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it is going to be, some people are going to be disappointed by it because it's not going to be everything everybody wants, but I think it could start, if it's successful enough, a sort of new era of non traditional protagonists or main characters that you play as avatars, if you will, where, you play as animals that are actually animals as opposed to just
Mm.
human versions of them. And
Yeah,
so,
and we'll see if it's what something actually wants or what people actually want. I think
Mm.
that's going to be interesting. That's kind of shifting in the game industry, as well as what you mentioned earlier, where you have the more real-time interaction, immersion with video games, where you exactly get that, where like you stray from, too far away from the path, and like too out of earshot, people will be like, oh, okay, we'll catch up on that later. Because you also have that in God of War, in the latest one
mm,
that's out, where what was his Mimir? Mimir is like the guy who has like the reanimated head,
mm-hmm,
where
Yes.
he has it on his hip.
Yes. Yeah.
So whenever you take a boat trip, he tells stories But if you get out of
Yeah.
the boat before he finished the story, he says like, "Oh, we'll pick up on that later," and then
Yeah.
I think he actually does pick up on it later.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times in
Yeah.
streams where, and he'd be like, "So where was I?" And he will continue the story. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So I think like that is the future of getting gamers like immersed and fully involved in the game, which will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good topic to discuss because like graphics can go like can only go to like a certain point, right? But I think when you start to add those type of features in the game, that's what helps make a game like great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just having that sense of like immersion where you can whatever you do will have an effect or a cause to it, right?
I think that
But
that's what they tried with Kingdom Come Deliverance, didn't they? Where they
I have
actually
not played
tried.
it.
I haven't either. I have it
Mm-hmm.
actually, but I've never played it. But I remember when it came out, it was going to be this super huge game changer because the NPCs were going to react to what you were wearing. So, for
Oh,
example, if you were naked, they were going to be, repulsed or run away from you.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you, were full covered in blood, they were also going to just run away or like call for the guards or something like that. Or the NPCs
Wow.
would treat you differently if you wore like, rags versus, an armor.
Yeah.
I think it was something like that. They really tried to be, um, how do you call it, innovative in that
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know it definitely had an impact when it came out, at least in my circle, but seemingly not enough that it really changed the industry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also think because I have the game and I've tried starting it a few times and I tend to get like an hour or so in before I just find something else to do because I think it has a reverse curve to it. It's really difficult at the beginning and supposedly gets easier as you go. And I think
That's not really the way you want it, no.
right, and somebody explained it to me that was like because the character's supposed to not know anything at the start, and as you get trained, you go and it becomes easier. But I think the reason why it didn't take off the way it did, was because too many people found that learning curve barrier early on and just said, "Look, I'm gonna go do something else." Like you have a group of people that play it because there are people that play Dark Souls, but it's like that sort of early on that punishing sort of difficulty, you're not invested enough. That's why the reverse curve doesn't work. You're not like so invested that you'll put up with getting your face kicked in for 3.5 hours to beat this
Yeah.
boss because you want to keep doing whatever because you're so invested in the game. If that
Yeah,
happens
it kind of
early
needs
on.
needs to be able to like kind of work in a way so that yeah, how do you call it? The levels are even.
Yeah.
So that okay, sure, like he's not master, swordsman, or assassin, but okay, maybe he can brawl or something. Like maybe he
Okay, so let's
can
find some
do
type of balance. Yeah.
yeah some sort of balance, or like maybe in that area, maybe he starts off and you're kind of restricted to only being an area where there aren't any professionals, where all of the people are the
Okay.
same
Yeah.
level as you.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
even the quote unquote tutorial that starts you off to show you how to fight. They supposedly have you fight a drunk guy. He beat my candy ass the second time. The first time I spent like an hour and 40 minutes just trying to land a single punch because of the way the mechanics work.
See?
It was
And,
just-
and that's not good game mechanics.
Yeah.
No. So I like the idea of the game, but yeah. No, but to sort of stay on the topic, I think that immersion, that is sort of a way to keep people's attention in a time when people's attention spans are getting shorter.
Yeah.
If you immerse them into a game, make them feel like they're part of a living universe, it's easier to spend more time in a game, because a lot of yeah, what?
No, and additionally, people like kind of catering to people who play the game on and off, so
Yeah.
that you're
Uh,
allowed to come back in without having all of this like
like-
mid threads where like, wait, why
Yes.
is that person talking about a converse? I don't remember this,
Mm.
So they kind of also have that feature that they had in Detroit Become Human, actually in the lobby, where they could actually kind of sense or remember how
yeah.
long it's been since you played.
Mm.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would also be cool to just have like maybe a lobby like in the lobby, or a character in the game that will just be like, because Animal Crossing, I believe I never played Animal Crossing, but Animal Crossing, apparently the villagers, if you're not there after a while, they will sort of scold you for not playing.
Yeah.
After a while,
Mm-hmm.
while I think that's helpful in immersion, I feel like that just puts too much pressure on a person to keep playing.
Absolutely, but Animal Crossing is a whole different topic
Yeah,
of like
that's
trying to
its own
make people
thing.
play
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. No, not
I
my
mean,
kind
I
of game.
have it. I played it. I that was the reason I bought a Switch. I will be honest. But yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not for lack of trying. But yeah.
So basically, Yuhoi's villagers hate her. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
on.
basically,
yeah.
that's what I understood. Yeah.
I relate to them.
Is
Damn.
bruh. If you were living on my island, walk the plank.
Oh,
See,
dang.
see, and I get attacked for no reason.
Okay.
No reason whatsoever.
We got witnesses now. Comment in the in this video whose side you're on.
Yeah, leave a comment down below. Do you agree with me and Yuhoi's villagers, or do you agree with Yuhoi? So, But, BB, speaking of Yuhoi, you did mention that you saw something online that reminded you of her.
Well, oh
Should
my
I be
god.
flattered?
Oh my god.
That's a transition right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Please tell the world
Yeah.
what
How could you set me up like that? That's messed up.
BB, the innocent child. Please do.
First of all, it's nothing wrong. It's a statue,
No, I know, but it's
and it
just,
ties
that's
into
not what.
it ties into her the video series that she's doing right
Okay,
now.
thank you for putting it like that. That's how it was supposed to be. But no, yeah, it reminded me because Yuhoi is playing or doing a playthrough of Resident Evil Village.
Yes,
I
her
almost forgot.
YouTube will be in the description down below.
Yes,
as well as her
which
links.
is an amazing playthrough and lots of fun.
Yes,
Um,
that I've actually watched. By the way,
yeah, same,
As
same. Me too.
as opposed
it's
to
really good.
her watching.
It's
our show.
really, really good.
Yeah,
I
it's
enjoy
good
every
content.
episode that comes out. I
Mhm.
watch it. I eat cereal to it. You know.
I leave comments down below and everything. So yeah.
What is cereal during the with the cube rule?
Oh my god. Why would you bring this up right now?
Soggy
Why?
nachos. Soggy nachos would be what cereal is in the cube rule.
Oh my god. that
Anyways,
makes me
there's a
weird.
statue.
Yes. There's a statue of Lady D. Okay, the infamous Lady D is
Lady
getting
D
a
was his
statue of from the manufacturer Pure Arts. They have also made statues for like League of Legends, Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed. All the famous like video games or well-known video games. But it's a 3-foot statue. All right.
And for the
3-foot
people
statue.
who are not in the free world,
I don't know what 3 feet work out to in a press unit. I think, what is that, a meter?
less than a meter. Yeah, 90 centimeters ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going for $1,500.
It's a lot of
that's-
money.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
lot of
pretty
money.
expensive. That's pretty expensive. But pre-orders have just started.
Will you get it? That's the question. I feel like, BB seems right in there with like that's something he needs in his living room, like right there next to Groot. I feel like
Yeah, next to Baby Groot on the shelf.
Yeah.
behind.
Oh my gosh.
Baby Groot's gonna be like, I am Groot.
I mean, lucky Groot. But
Oh my gosh.
here's the question. I mean, I'm not getting it. Are you getting it?
Ooh.
I both of you. This is the question to the panel.
No. I mean, the thing is though, because I'm almost never buy any like gaming merch or statues like that. To be
Yeah.
honest, partly because shipping costs. So I only like pay for something if I can see if it's cool and if I can see it in like the physical store here in Norway.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Besides from that, I've only bought 2 collector's edition for a game.
And one you tried to put together the statue on stream, and it didn't go very well.
That's because they manufactured it wrong. I had to put it together for a work thing as well. That was also wrong, and I had to cut it up to make them fit. So it was not my fault.
Not taking any accountability. This is the Norwegian way.
The 2022 Helena is a proud, white dude. So
I mean, BB was transitioning earlier, so you know what? We support you just the same. So, But
no, I don't think no, yeah, I'm not getting this. But
no.
I've had like I mean, you could see like some of them
You've
right
had
there.
thoughts?
I mean, no, oh no, oh my gosh.
No, you heard it here first. Beavis never had a thought.
Breaking news.
No, but like I talking about like special editions. I've never had like a special edition or a collector's item like that. I would want to in the future. I think the next one or my very first one might be that God of War Ragnarok if I can get a PlayStation by then.
Yeah.
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 But yeah,
I
I would
can see
like that. I would like to see that. But no, for this statue, no, I would not purchase this.
Yeah, no, I'm
But
not.
it's interesting for the people who want them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
sure.
it's a little too expensive for my taste, or a lot too expensive for my taste. But I also don't know what the hell I would do with a 3-foot statue. It just point like there's certain things where it just it's tangible, but it's pointless. I've only bought I've bought a few collector's editions, but the most one that sticks out to me is Mass Effect 3, and it came with a little N7 patch that was pretty much useless until I sewed it onto some shirts, and
Weird how patches work like that.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Anywho, yeah, I sewed it onto a black T-shirt and wore it to Comic-Con and all of that, and people actually recognized it. So that was the only use I ever got out of that. But no, but Yuhoui, you are doing a video series on Resident Evil 8: The Village right now. You just released episode 6, if I'm not mistaken, by the time of this recording. How excited are you for the DLC?
Oh, I'm so excited. It's I to be honest, I don't even know what the DLC is about. I don't know if they've teased it, like what's supposed to be about. I don't even care. I'm just gonna jump in completely blind, and diaper up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they have released a synopsis. I won't spoil it for you, so you can go into it completely blind. But they have released a synopsis, and it tells you, basically where the story is going from where the game leaves off. And I think it's very interesting, and I think it's very.
You want to tell me?
I mean, you play as the daughter.
The daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true. That is
I'm
very
excited
interesting.
for it. It looks good.
Yeah. So
The thing is, though, I'm really hoping that the entire series will have, like, that Rose's story, or Rosemary, will not just be a DLC. That I will hope that she will actually get her own game, because I think,
okay.
that could be really fascinating. I know, again, I'm very new to the entire, like, Resident Evil series, but I feel like Jill is the only female character in this.
There's Claire as well.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
a few that are not like, I guess, main protagonists, right?
Yeah,
They're kind of
'cause
like supportive characters,
Over there.
but
Yeah.
main protagonists would be Jill and Claire Redfield. Yeah, that's about it.
And I think you can play as Ada Wong in a
Yeah.
special sort of side thing of Resident Evil
Side,
4,
like,
I think.
Yeah.
But they're all,
Yeah.
again, like, not trying to spoil everything too much, but they're all normal.
Yes,
Right.
yeah. As far as that, yeah, like
They're
that.
not. They're not in the same league as.
I mean, they're
Rosemary.
still badass, but yes, they are normal.
Yeah. Not to say that they're
Yeah,
badass,
yeah.
but yeah, which will make everything very interesting for anyone who knows.
Yes. Yeah,
About
I'm excited.
Rosemary.
Also,
I'm excited.
they're releasing over the shoulder now for Resident
Yeah.
Evil 8 as part of the update. So now it's no longer just in first person.
It's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
It's gonna be weird as hell. Like, are we gonna be able to see his face? Because that
I
was
think
the whole
so.
thing.
Yeah, I think that that's why they did it, is to finally see like Ethan's face. Which
Yeah.
is funny that they show the trailer, like the gameplay of the over the shoulder, but they never showed his face. But apparently you can see his face. So,
Maybe that's gonna be like a whole thing, or
yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
gonna be cool.
I'm kind of two minds with that, because I feel like it's kind of better to keep it. It's like the Master Chief. We never know what the Master, unless you've watched the Paramount Plus, which don't. The Master Chief sort of thing.
Oh, like you're not able to see him.
Yeah.
like it could be anyone. So you can always identify him with as well.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
I would like to see that though, to see his face finally.
The Master Chief or Ethan?
Oh, both, I guess.
I don't know. I'm of two minds. I think it was interesting the way that they never showed it, and how they resolved on not showing his face ever. So I'm a little bit carefree. Like if they show it, cool.
Yeah.
But I also am fine with like keeping it.
Yeah. But you have survived your first guest stint on the BB&J show.
And you have both survived.
Yes.
The audience and the two of you survived having me here.
Speaking of audience, BB has a signature thing he says at this point in the show. So BB.
No, yes. As always, if you are currently watching this right now at this very exact moment, you are the true MVP, and I appreciate you so much.
Yes.
But thank you for chilling with us today.
Yes.
It's awesome.
And a special note.
Wholesome.
A special note. I always agree, with BB, that if you're still watching, if you stuck through this entire thing, you are the MVP. But as a special note, it is Yuhoi's birthday today, so a very, very happy birthday to Yuhoui. Thank you for.
Can we sing it?
Yeah, yeah. Let's sing it. Yeah.
No,
okay.
Ready?
actually,
One.
I'm gonna leave this call.
Wow.
All right.
So rude.
You want to start it, Jay, or
Yeah.
I started?
The song?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I don't have the song pulled up, but yeah, I mean, I
Oh,
could say.
you-
I'm just
You
gonna.
have to
just
have a song
acapella.
pulled up.
Yeah, yeah,
so you
acapella,
have
yeah.
Happy
I have to
Birthday.
have the lyrics up, so
For
Just so
happy
you know.
birthday.
There you go.
yes, I don't know the lyrics.
Fine. At
Ready?
some point,
Yeah.
you have to believe that you're kidding.
Oh my gosh, I wish I was, honestly.
There's a clip I think of BB asking what are the lyrics of a Happy Birthday song.
Oh,
There's a lot of heads on desk that day. Okay, let's go.
Right.
Here we go.
Ready?
One.
I'll just follow your lead.
Yeah. Happy birthday
Day
to you. Happy birthday
Day
to you.
I mean you.
Happy birthday,
Day.
dear Yuhoui.
Hoy.
Happy birthday to you.
Murder it. Take it behind the shed. Shoot it behind. Just bury it
Oh.
alive.
How old are you now?
Cannot be treated.
Oh my god, that was beautiful actually.
Listen,
that was peak performance right there.
You could live 100 years and you will never be sung happy birthday to that way again.
Yes, you'll never be sung happy birthday like that. Ever.
Yeah, that is.
So if you, the audience, are still watching, seek therapy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you at home for watching. If you have not followed Yuhoui, please do. A very, very special thank you for Yuhoui for joining us. All her links will be down below. She streams on Twitch. She produces YouTube content. And she tweets a lot and does other things on other social medias. She ticks and talks.
Mm-hmm.
Have a wonderful time. BB, thank you for being the amazing co-host that you always are. I am lucky and blessed to have you as a co-host. And
Same.
if you haven't done so already, consider liking the video, leaving a comment down below, subscribing to the page, dinging our dong to be notified when we release new content. And we'll be back, I hope, next week, but, life happens, so we'll see. But we'll be back with another episode of the BB&J Show. Stay tuned to the just hit the microphone, Twitter, and email and all of that good stuff. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for having me. See ya.
Bye. What up, fam? Thanks for watching.
For more of the BB&J Show, click subscribe, click like, and click the bell for notifications when we release new videos.